Hi, Rebecca Stevens from Work Brighter here. I want to talk to you today a little bit about how to try and tackle negative behaviour in the office, particularly from people who may be, a person who is maybe doing fine and they seemed okay and then has more recently become negative around the office. I mean, it might not be particularly obvious. It might be more you've noticed they're not passing on messages, or you notice they're being a bit snippy towards colleagues, or they're being a bit annoyed when you talk to them or someone else talks to them. They just seem a bit more negative than usual. Firstly, don't leave it. Anything like that does reflect that there's something going on for the person, and don't just ignore it. It won't, things don't just go away, particularly if it's related to something that you can help with. So try and have a private conversation with the person. I wouldn't approach it saying, I noticed you've been quite negative. What's that about? What I would probably start with is an open question about how things are going. How are things at work? How are things at home? Is there anything else you need from me in terms of support? And then maybe, if it's not coming up at that point, then say, I notice that some of the conversations you've been having haven't been particularly positive, and that concerns me about the impact you're having on other people when you talk to them like this. So what you're talking about is you need to give them a specific example of the behaviour they've been doing and the impact it's having on others. Rather than, I notice you're being a bit negative generally, because that's too broad. You need to give them something specific. The second thing is to really show you value them and you care about them as a person, not just their work, that actually you care about them as a whole being. So you need to talk to them about what else you could be doing. So what other support can you give them? How else could you help them develop in the role? Because it might be they're frustrated with their job and they're just feeling a bit, it's same old, and feeling a bit undervalued. So they might just need some attention around that. How else could you change their job? Could you, what else could you bring in that they might fancy giving a go? Could you give them some mentoring? Could you pair them up with someone else on another task? Could you delegate some of their work that they don't find interesting to someone else? So what else can you do to make that their role more fulfilling for them? And then if there are things going on outside of work, you may not get the full picture, but that's okay. Just to make sure you're offering support, such as, could we try and help you find some extra support, like counselling or coaching, or do you need some time off work? Do you need to change your hours? Is there anything else we can do to support you through this time? You don't really need to know the specifics of what's going on for them unless they're willing to share them, and that's fine, and obviously keep those confidential. But it's showing that you really care about them as the whole person is the key piece. And then there's a few more things you can do as well. You can find those in my guide to poor office behaviour on the website, and that's workbrighter.co.uk/secrets. Thank you.